There was once a wood so dense, so twisted, and so shock-resistant. Sailors believed cannonballs bounced off it. It sank in water, it wrecked tools, and it helped build a warship launched in 1797 that is still afloat today. So if this wood worked that well, why did the world replace it? Welcome to Plants with Hidden Powers. In the age of sail, wood was the ship, the armor, the skeleton, the thing standing between a crew and violent death. But the worst thing about a cannonball wasn't always the iron itself. It was what happened after impact. A hit shattered the hull inward, turning wood into flying blades that tore through gun crews. In close battle, ships could kill their own men. And then there was southern live oak, a tree from the American South that did not behave like ordinary ship timber at all. Live oak is brutally dense. Its twisting, interlocking grain resists splitting, making it miserable to work with. Axes could glance off, and sawing was slow. But these same qualities made it extraordinary in a fight. Where regular wood would fracture, live oak dispersed the force of impact, turning violent shock into survivable damage. The knowledge was there. What changed was scale. In 1793, the new United States couldn't outbuild Europe's navies. Naval constructor Joshua Humphrey's answer was radical. Build frigates that outrun what they can't beat and overpower what they can catch. His ships would be bigger, faster, and harder hitting. At the heart of his design was a material choice: live oak. Its naturally curved limbs and immense strength were prized for a ship's frame. On March 27, 1794, Congress authorized 6 frigates, the foundation of the U.S. Navy. This was not just shipbuilding, it was engineered survival. In Boston, one of these ships began to take shape, the USS Constitution. While many pictured wooden ships as primitive, this was advanced material engineering. The hull was designed to survive punishment that broke ordinary warships apart. Launched in 1797, she was a test of whether a young republic could turn local ecology into naval power. Before a ship could be built, its wood had to be taken from the south, a hard, ugly, dangerous process. The best live oak grew in difficult coastal terrain, a world of heat, disease, and mud. The wood itself was so dense it couldn't be rafted. It had to be dragged yard by yard. Northern crews were hit by disease, but much of the hardest labor was done by enslaved people. That truth belongs in the hull as much as the timber does. The test that turned wood into legend came on August 19, 1812. In the war against Britain, the USS Constitution met HMS Guerriere in a fight where timber, not theory, would decide the outcome. While British cannonballs did damage, the catastrophic splintering sailors expected was shockingly reduced. This led to the famous cry, "Her sides are made of iron." Guerriere was shattered and burned. Constitution's nickname was born, Old Ironsides. That moment proved that the right wood could alter naval history. Now, to keep this honest, the legend gets exaggerated. Constitution was not immune to cannon fire. No wooden ship was. The point is more interesting than the myth. Her hull did not need to be invulnerable. It only needed to perform better than what sailors were used to. And it did. In simpler terms, ordinary hull wood could fail in violent, predictable ways. Live oak structure made that harder. Its density, interlocked grain, and resistance to clean fracture helped it act less like a brittle wall and more like a stubborn mass. That difference could save lives. The US government understood how valuable this tree was, moving to secure whole reserves of it. Laws were passed to buy timberlands and preserve live oak stands for naval use. In 1828, the government acquired tens of thousands of acres near Pensacola, creating an early federal tree reserve. At its peak, federal live oak reserves reached roughly 268,000 acres, 250,000 acres tied to one military material. And wherever something becomes strategically valuable, theft follows. Live oak was stolen for years, cut illegally, moved quietly, sold for profit. sometimes even sold back into the same naval system that was trying to protect it. Officials struggled to stop it. Surveyors reported widespread cutting. Federal agents pursued cases. Crowds interfered. Prisoners were freed. The fights over live oak were not symbolic. They were economic, local, political, and often lawless. Then history changed course. March 8 and 9, 1862. Hampton Roads. The clash between ironclads made one thing brutally clear. The age of the wooden frontline warship was ending. At nearly the same time, industrial steel production was accelerating. The Bessemer process, patented in 1855, helped make large-scale steel cheaper and more practical. And steel had something governments and industry both understood. It could be standardized, rolled, measured, contracted, and supplied at industrial scale. By 1883, the so-called New Steel Navy had begun. The United States moved decisively toward modern steel warships, and once that happened, live oak was no longer the future, no matter how impressive its past had been. Did steel replace live oak because it was better? No. Naval warfare and industry changed, favoring materials that could be mass-produced. A tree in a swamp could be extraordinary, but it could not be rolled out of a mill by the ton. Once wooden warships were obsolete, the live oak reserves lost their strategic status, and the old system was dismantled, not because the wood failed, but because the world changed. Here is the irony. Steel ships require constant maintenance in salt water. Meanwhile, the ship that made live oak famous is still floating, still commissioned. For key structural work, the Navy still needs live oak. Not for nostalgia, but because the ship was designed around it. That is the final proof this was never just romantic storytelling, and the trees themselves still feel unreal. Some southern live oaks spread outward like architecture. Low, horizontal, massive, patient. More like living structures than ordinary trees. They are famous in hurricane country for a reason. Their shape helps them survive wind. Their mass helps them endure. They are not fast-growing industrial timber. They are long-lived resilience. That may be the strangest part of this whole story. An acorn, a swamp, time. And out of that comes a material strong enough to change war at sea. Was southern live oak the Navy's secret armor? For a crucial era, it was a natural armor, a shock-absorbing wall so effective the government protected entire forests to secure it. History often teaches that progress is a straight line, but sometimes an older material isn't abandoned because it failed, but because the system changed around it. The old wood still holds, it still floats. And in Boston Harbor, more than 2 centuries later, the tree is still winning. If you want more true stories about plants that shaped history, powered survival, and changed the world in ways almost nobody remembers, subscribe to Plants with Hidden Powers. Because some of the most powerful technologies in history were alive. Wat vond je ervan? Like en abonneer je.